a Thanksgiving song, but I think about that song as a Christmas song. All good gifts. All good gifts. They're already within us. I know the writer of the song says they come from above, but we could ask the question, theoretically, where is above? Because is there some above within you? And is there some above without you? Not without you, but outside of you. And probably if I weren't here, there'd be some above anyway. And the same for you. So we could have some fun with that word. Christmas gifts. They're amazing. Did you get your favorite gift last year? At Christmas, do you remember? I know it was a long time ago. Did you get your favorite gift last year? Yes? What was something you got that you loved? A car, yes. Woohoo! That's a fabulous gift. I think all gifts actually are fabulous. What else did you get? You guys, surely you got something. A visit from a child. Yes, that is really spectacular. That's a non-material gift in a way, but it's also a material gift because that child is a person. What else did you guys get? Oh, wow, a sculpture made by a grandson. These are gifts. Do they touch your heart when you receive them? Yes, they do. So we get material gifts such as a car or a sculpture. A visit is both material and non-material. But we also have spiritual gifts. Metaphysically, a spiritual gift is that manifestation of the Spirit within us. The Spirit, the presence of Christ within us, the presence of God within us. We talk about it most often here as our divinity. That's the greatest gift that we've been given. And along with that, in unity, we talk about the 12 powers, or I would say the capacities of God that are already within us in their fullness from the very beginning of our life. We were born with them. And then, sometimes we forget who we are. We were born with this inner knowing. Can you imagine what it feels like to be a baby? It's been a long time for me, at least 34 years. It's been a long time for me. And yet I have some memories. I've done some work that's supported me in having those memories. And I can remember some of that joy. But all we really have to do is look at a baby and spend some time with someone who has a baby, especially if we don't have to do some of those everyday things about the baby. But we can just enjoy them. We can spend time with them. We can feel their love. We can feel their presence. We can feel their joy. We can feel their excitement about living. And we can feel their anger and their frustration when they're hungry and they're squalling, crying, when something is not going as it seems. And if we can sort of bring our observation a little bit higher, all of those parts of that child, just like all of the parts of us as a child, is a gift. It's a gift. It's a gift of being able to be present with. My favorite definition of love is being present with. It doesn't mean necessarily liking something, because when someone's crying loudly, when somebody's screaming because they're angry, sometimes it hurts my ears, and sometimes I feel frightened. But I know in the midst of those feelings, the hurting ears or the fright, the fear that may come, I know that I am always divine. I can know that in the midst of anything that's occurring. And I believe that is a gift that we have at Christmas time and all year round. Sometimes we celebrate peace, harmony, faith, joy at Christmas time. And yet those gifts that are non-material gifts, there are spiritual gifts. Those gifts are present with us every single day. It's if, and again, it's a big if, we choose those gifts. So metaphysically, a gift is that manifestation of spirit. But there's another layer of that gift. And that is, just like the baby is a gift to a family, We are a gift to the human family. We are a gift to the human family. We are a gift to ourselves, and we are a gift to those we love. Say it with me. I am a gift. I am a gift. And sometimes that's the most difficult part of Christmas, when we're busy thinking about, oh, what am I going to buy for Aunt so-and-so or Uncle so-and-so, and oh, my brother has everything, so I have no earthly idea what to get for him. I'm thinking on the material plane. But when I can drop into my sense of awareness of the spiritual plane, which is always present in the material plane, I just have to bring my awareness to it. When I can do that, I can recognize that the love between my aunt, my uncle, my brother, I can recognize the love between my friends is a gift to me. And I feel honored to have it. A love between my partner and I is a huge gift. If you've ever seen the movie, The Polar Express, the conductor says, sometimes the most real things in the world are things we cannot see. Relationships. We can see the effect of them. We can see the person that we're in relationship with, whether it's a love relationship, a marriage relationship, a friendship relationship, a family relationship, and just a relationship that's part of the human race. The person we run into in the grocery store that we don't know, but they're there pushing their cart along, and for a moment, our eyes meet, and there is something that flows between us. There's just something that flows between us, and that is a relationship. It may be an instant, but in that moment, we have the opportunity to see the gift that other person is and to share the gift that we are. If we're willing to take that moment. I see my PowerPoint's doing funny things today. But sometimes that's the most real moment. And what we don't know, it's really having a good time on its own. This is life, isn't it fun? That's why I think my favorite F word is flexibility, because it's going to just keep on going. But that's okay with me. When we can recognize that gift, that absolute gift of that moment, whether that moment lasts a moment or lasts a long, long time, you guys are going to see what I'm going to talk about. That's okay with me. You get a preview. It's like being at the movies and having a trailer, only the trailer is in words. So what I want to talk to you about is how we're a gift. How we're a gift is in this non-material way. And how we're a gift is in our relationship with each other. And I believe that one of the most difficult pieces of recognizing that we are a gift is that ability to recognize that we are love. Because I know most people I've met have this sense of I'm not good enough that shows up at times. And Christmas can be a big time for that to show up. Oh, is the gift I got my best friend good enough? Will she like it? Will he like it? That can be a concern, a worry. It can be a part of our giving, and it can take away from our pleasure. It can take away from our delight. But when we are willing to love ourselves for exactly who we are in every moment, as much as we can, and that may vary moment to moment, then what we can do is know that what we give is a gift. How somebody else receives that is up to them. But what we give is a gift. And I'll tell you a story. I have an aunt who's no longer on this earth plane, but I used to give her things that I thought she would like for Christmas, like a brooch. Brooches are making a comeback, but years ago they were really popular. I'd give her a brooch, and about 3 Christmases later, I'd get that brooch back. And I would think, oh, that's so precious, is that she gave it back. So then, we all have these white elephant Christmas things, so I would pass it along. The good news is I never got it back once I passed it along. But she had an opportunity to enjoy the receiving. It didn't matter to me whether she ever actually wore the gift, but she got the knowing that her niece cared enough about her to give her something, to give her a gift. Now, sometimes the gifts were cookies that weren't so good and a little bit hard and sometimes a little bit burnt on the bottom, and yet she received them as if they were that brooch. She received them from the love that they were intended. So when we know within every cell of our body that we are love, then what we can do is when we give, whether it's the moment of eye contact, whether it's a material gift, whether it's doing something kind for somebody, we can know that our love has been given, and how somebody else receives it is up to them. And sometimes in my life, when I haven't felt very lovable, I have had a difficult time receiving. And I haven't intended to mar somebody else's experience of giving, but I have had a difficult experience of receiving. But the more that I have learned to love myself over time, the more that I have learned to do that, my ability to receive has opened up and expanded. So part of what I want to talk to you about is what inhibits our receiving. What is the obstacle of our receiving? And that obstacle is that belief that we're not lovable on some aspect of our lives. We may think that we're lovable in this area, and this area, and this area, but not in this area. But what I'm inviting us into is learning how to be love towards ourselves first, come home to ourselves first, and then to give to others in every aspect of our lives. So let's try it out. I am a gift. I'm a gift of love. I give my love freely. And I open myself to receiving love freely. Let's do that second one. I open myself to receiving love freely again. I open myself to receiving love freely. This is hard for some people, and yet it's a very beautiful thing to receive the love of someone else. One of the things that stops us is criticism. The biggest piece of loving ourselves that's an obstacle is our own self-criticism. And so I want to go back here and give you a difference between an observation and a criticism. An observation, if it'll stick around, I put my name in there so I wouldn't accidentally use somebody's name and you're like, oh, Reverend Nickie was talking about me. Nickie was wearing a Christmas sweater and jeans to the party. That's an observation. Oh, Nickie wore a Christmas sweater and jeans to the party. It becomes a criticism if I add in my interpretation. Well, that Christmas sweater looked old. She should get herself a new sweater. And I can't believe she wore jeans to a Christmas party. That's where we get into criticism. And sometimes criticism starts a conversation for us because we're shy at times with people. We don't want to be vulnerable. So it's easier to start with a complaint or a criticism if we're not feeling full of love for ourselves. What it does is somebody else unconsciously will join us and say, oh, yeah. One of the things I like about unity communities is that has been something that we are changing as we empower ourselves and become aware of who we are and aware of the gifts of our divinity. That is something that is changing as we have become able to say, I love myself from a place of truth, capital T truth, meaning the absolute truth, rather than from a place of narcissism or arrogance. You know the difference. I know the difference because you and I can feel the difference when somebody's like, well, you know, I'm being wonderful. The other way that, and there are many, I just want to give you a couple of examples. Criticism shows up as she's an excellent speaker. And then what do we do to ourselves? Oh, I can't speak after her. I can't speak after her. I'm not a good speaker. So we do this to ourselves, and whether it's being a speaker or something else, how do you do it to yourself? How do you tell yourself you're not good enough? How do you compare yourself to another person? Can you imagine the gifts that are under the tree right now saying, hey, I'm a rectangle, so I'm a better gift than you, as a circle gift. There's a box that's a circle. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine a baby when it's newborn saying, I'm not good enough? No, they just exude love. And that's who we were born to be. That's who we are at the core of ourselves. And that's who we can remember, so that we're giving that forth during this holiday season, but all year round. That when we approach somebody, we can approach from that place of love rather than a place of need. So it's not like, oh, I need you to love me, but I love me. So as I come forth to you, I'm going to bring my love to you, and you can either receive it or not. But you're receiving it or not receiving it doesn't change the fact that I am love. And if you say, oh, you're not my cup of tea, I don't resonate with you, there will be people who do. So I can know beyond a shadow of a doubt that my love makes a difference. Say that with me. My love makes a difference. And your love in the grocery store makes a difference. Your love in Walmart makes a difference. Your love in this spiritual community makes a difference. When you say hello, it's nice to see you to somebody, you're making a difference in somebody's life. An observation, now I'm going to give you a definition. An observation is when we share what we perceive, and a criticism is when we interpret what we are sharing and add to it. Brene Brown says, Mr. Fillmore's in a hurry here. That's the next quote. Brene Brown says, owning our story and loving ourselves through that process is the bravest thing we'll ever do. Self-love, loving ourselves, it's the bravest thing we'll ever do. And it's the bravest thing we'll ever do because we get so many messages from outside there that we're not lovable. Over the course of starting somewhere in Thanksgiving, people start talking to me about their holiday experiences. Oh, when I was growing up, I don't like Christmas because of this. I don't like Christmas because of that. My experience of Christmas is, I used to love Christmas and then something happened. Those things happened. Were they painful? Probably. Does that pain have to live on in us, stopping our joy, stopping our love, stopping our presence? Even today, that's our choice. That's our choice. When I was growing up, I always got a pair of underwear for Christmas. And I have to tell you, the very first Christmas that I did not get a pair of underwear was the very first Christmas I had spent away from home. And I remember thinking I was missing something. I was missing something. In all the gifts I had, something was missing. And it dawned on me, oh, my mother always included underwear for my brothers and myself. And I thought, well, I don't have to miss this. So I took myself to the grocery, not to the grocery store, but to Macy's, and I got some underwear. And I bought them in the name of my family. I continued to celebrate. When my grandmother passed, my grandmother and I would always go find a present for me, something that I wanted, but we would do it together. When she passed out of this life, I continue to this day, many years later, buying myself a gift that my grandmother would have bought me if she were alive. And I honor and I celebrate her life and the life that lives on through me because of our relationship, the gift that that relationship was to me and the gift that I was to her. She used to tell me and tell other people, "You're my favorite granddaughter." What most people didn't know is I was her only granddaughter. But I could still be her favorite even if I was her only. Charles Fillmore says, "There is no imperfection in us." This is a paraphrase because I've made it more inclusive. There's no There is no imperfection in us. We are the perfect potentiality proving itself. We are potential. We have such infinite power within us and infinite potential within us if we choose it. The only limits that we have are the limits that we put on ourselves. In the course of bringing forth this perfection, there are processes we must go through. And one of those processes is learning to love ourselves. So say with me, I love me. I love me. I love me. And by loving me, I can love you more fully. Tune into that. What does that feel like? By loving myself, I can love you more fully. By loving yourself, you can love the people in your life more fully. By recognizing the gift that you are, you can love yourself and the people around you more fully. And you can love that driver who cut you off. And you can love that driver who zipped across 3 lanes on the 60, and you went, whoa! And you can love yourself for having the whoa experience. We can love ourselves for all the experiences that we experience. It's one thing to know about God. That's good stuff. But the real gift is when we are experiencing our own divinity as the gift of Christmas. I want to tell you a story about a woman named Gail. She had 2 sons. One of the sons was born with spina bifida, and he was in a wheelchair for all of his life. And she wanted to do the best that she could do as a single mom to create happiness and joy for her sons, just like all moms want to do, to create as much joy as possible. And some people saw the son with spina bifida, his name was Brandon. They saw him with a limitation, but Gail, as his mother, never saw him with a limitation. And when he was 17 years old, he passed. And she and he had decided that they were going to give his organs as an organ donor. And so 4 or 5 years later, Gail and her other son, Brian, moved into a new apartment. Now, Brandon had lived on through their memories and from his friends saying, hey, look, it's sunshiny today. Isn't it a beautiful day? Brandon would have loved this. So he lived on, but she didn't limit her life in any way because of the sadness and the grief that she felt. She continued to live. She continued to celebrate his life in her heart and with his friends and with her other son. And when they moved, Brendan's favorite color had been yellow. She decided that she was going to paint one of the rooms yellow in her new apartment. And so she had worked it out. She lived in Buffalo, New York, and she had worked it out with a painting company that someone would come to her home and paint. And this man came one day, and she was like, you're a week early. And he said, I had an opening, and I'm here to paint if that's all right. And she said, yes, go ahead and come in. And he started painting, and he was chatting with her because she was unpacking boxes still. And he was chatting with her, and, you know, one of the things that come up is, do you have any children? When you're a certain age, that's a very typical question. And she said, she took a breath, and she thought, oh, usually this is an awkward question. But she said to him, yes, I have 2 sons, but one of them has passed. He was ill for a while, and he has passed. And the painter, his name was Ken, said, oh, I spent a period of my life being very ill. I was so ill that I thought I was going to die. I have a wife and 2 young children, and I was very afraid I was going to die. And she said, when was this? And he said, about 4 years ago, but luckily I received a kidney from a donor. You know where this is going. I received a kidney from a donor. Her antenna went up, and she said, when was that? And he said, February 2008. And she said, do you remember the date? He said, February 13th. And she said, my son passed on February 12th. And they had some more conversation. And they got on the phone with the donor counselor. And they talked to him. And indeed, Ken had Brendan's kidney. Now, that's amazing. That's a gift. That's a gift of Brandon continuing on. That's a gift of Gail continuing to live life and celebrate the best she could in every day. That's a gift of Ken being able to live life and live on and be with his children and be with his wife and be with his family. There are, at that time, 18,000, somebody did the research, not me, 18,000 painters in the city of Buffalo, New York. The probability is 0.006 that they would ever meet. This is the gift of being in the flow spiritually. This is the gift of us being willing to know the gift that we are. This is the gift. It's the gift of being open to sharing, to being vulnerable, to saying, oh, I might have to start this story about my son and I might start to cry. I might feel awkward. I might feel uncomfortable. But if I'm being authentic and I'm sharing, that heart of another is going to be touched. Just like when you receive gifts from people you love, your heart is touched and open. This is a non-material gift. It's a spiritual gift. And what I really want you to hear today is there is no imperfection within you. Maybe you think there is. But did you take on somebody else's belief about you? Whose belief is that? That's the question I ask all the time. Whose belief was that? Where did I get that belief? Where did that come from? Am I willing to explore it? This is the work, the processes that Mr. Fillmore is talking about. Am I willing to go through them? Am I willing to share with another how scared I am about something? Am I willing to share with another how I don't feel worthy and have somebody who cares deeply about me remind me that I'm divine? If you need to hear that over the course of this Christmas season, if you need to hear that over the course of the year, come here. Come here to Unity of Mesa. And I will sit with you. Reverend Mindy will sit with you. Lily will sit with you. Come here, and each of you will sit together, knowing your worth and your value, knowing that you are the gift of Christmas. Our chaplains will pray with you, reminding you of the treasure that you are, the gift of Christmas, a gift that keeps on giving day after day after day, way beyond the season, a gift that gives to everybody you encounter, a gift that you don't even know the ramifications of because you've touched somebody's life, and that life has touched somebody's life, and that life has touched somebody's life, and that life has touched somebody's life. You touch lives. Your presence is the greatest gift that you can give anybody. Because when you sit with somebody, you're sitting with them as the presence of God. We see God as principle. It's within us. And we bring it forth in manifestation. That's the gift, the manifestation of the Spirit that is within us. That as we interact with each other, we're calling it forth. We are bringing it forth. Even if we're not thinking, I'm the Spirit of God with you. We're still bringing it forth because it's who we are. Yes, we have free choice on a lot of things, but it's who we are. We're calling each other to our highest and best. We're calling each other to be the love that we are this Christmas season and all year round. If you're up for that, if you're interested, I'll read it and then think about whether you're interested in this affirmation. And remember, we don't affirm something to make it true. We affirm it because it is true. In the infinity of life where I am, this is mostly from Louise Hay. In the infinity of life where I am, all is perfect, whole, and complete. I release old limitations and thoughts of lack. I choose to see myself as the universe sees me, perfect, whole, and complete. I am a gift to myself, and I am a gift to others. Take a breath into that. That's a big statement, and that's a big awareness, and that's a big owning. That owning of ourselves, that owning of the truth of ourselves. And if you're interested, say it with me. Together, in the infinity of life where I am. And thoughts of lack. I choose to see myself as the universe sees me, perfect, whole, complete. I am a gift to myself, and I am a gift to others. You are a gift to yourself, and you are a gift to others, and you are a gift to Unity of Mesa, and you are a gift to others in the world wherever you go. Take a breath. You are a gift everywhere you go. You're the gift of the season, but you're the gift of humanity. You're the gift of that manifestation of spirit in this world. How fun can that be? Let's sing our way into meditation. Lily and Marianne are going to come up, and we're going to sing Blessing to the World. We're going to sing it from three places: I, you, and we. Hold it in your heart as we sing and as you sing. Hold this message in your heart.
I am the heart, I am the hands, I am the voice of spirit on earth, and who I am, and all I do is a blessing to the world. You are the heart, you are the hands, you are the voice of spirit on earth, and who you are, and all you do is a blessing to the world. We are the heart, we are the hands, we are the voice of spirit on earth, and who we are, and all we do is a blessing to the world.
Can you feel it? Can you feel your blessedness and your blessingness? Can you have that experience so it goes beyond our head and moves that 17 inches to our heart? You are the gift, the blessing, the love. First to yourself, and then to those who are close around you, to your friends, your family, and to humanity. Because as we move through the world knowing that we are the gift, the love, knowing that we are the joy and the peace, knowing that we are harmony, we bring it forth around us. And people will begin to say to you, wow, I love being in your presence. You're so calm. When I'm close to you, I feel joy. When I'm with you, I feel so deeply loved. Can you say that to yourself? When I'm with myself, I am peace. I am harmony. I am joy. I am love. I am the gift of divinity, expressing outwardly and inwardly in this world. Let's take those thoughts into a moment of the sacred and holy silence. Feel the preciousness of you, the absolute treasure that you are. Feel the gift. Even if you're grieving or sad, if you're angry or hurting, know that you're still a gift. And let the love that you are embrace the feelings that you have. Love, the universal harmonizer. Love, the energy that emanates from the heart and wants only the best for each other. Love, the ability to be present with. Allow